So today I'm going to talk to you about how to factor a simple trinomial. So what makes something a simple trinomial? Well, it's a trinomial because there are three parts. Three parts. So then why you say, well, why is it simple? Well, it's simple because there is a coefficient of 1 in front of the x squared. So now you say, well, how is it factoring? Well, you know that factoring is when two numbers are multiplied to get me this. So we have to figure out which two numbers multiplied will get me this answer. So first I'm going to teach you how to do this with algebra tiles and expanding. So let's say we have x plus 2 and x plus 1. So if we were doing this with algebra tiles, you know that this would be x, and then we would have 1, and then we could have an x here for this bracket, and then we would have 2. So to fill this in, we know that x times x gives you x squared, and x times 1 gives you x. X times 1 gives you x. 1 times x gives you x, and 1 times 1 gives you 1. 1 times 1 gives you 1. So now, if you wanted to write this out, it would be x squared plus 1, 2, 3, 3x, and then there's 2. So that's what you would get if you expanded to get that using algebra tiles. So now let's say you didn't have it in that form. So it was like x squared plus 3x plus 2. So now you would say, well, there's an x squared. You have 3 x's and 2. So if you were to arrange this, you could say, well, the x squared could go here. And in order for there to be 2 brackets, it has to be a rectangle, right? So if I did, say, 3 here, then I would have these 2 pieces left over, and that wouldn't make it an equal rectangle. So then we know that's no good. So if I were to put it like this, and maybe put the x squared here, and put the 2 x's here, and put 1x here, and then I have 2 left over, and then you could see, well, that works out. So then you would say, well, this is an x, and then that's a 1. This is an x, that's a 1, and that's a 1. So then you would say, well, that is x plus 1, and this is x plus 2. So that's how you could get the answer using algebra tiles. But let's say you didn't want to use that. So you have x squared plus 3x plus 2. So this is essentially a squared plus bx plus c. So when you're trying to factor a simple trinomial, you have to find a number which these two need to be multiplied and it needs to add to this. So what I mean by that is, so if you have x squared plus 3x plus 2, you can say, well, what two things multiplied equal 2? So 2 times 1 equals 2. That works. And you could say negative 2 times negative 1 equals 2. So that works too. So now you have to ask, well, what two things, which two numbers give me plus 3? If you add 2 plus 1, you get 3. But if you add negative 2 plus negative 1 equals negative 3. So what you want is 2 and 1. So now you know that the brackets are bracket x, x, plus 2, and plus 1. So let's do another example. So on a side note, just know that you want two numbers which multiply to C, and the same two numbers have to add to B. Okay? So let's do x squared plus 5x plus 6. So now which two numbers multiply to 6? There's 6 times 1 equals 6. You could do negative 6 times negative 1 equals 6. There's 2 times 3 equals 6. And negative 3 times negative 2 equals 6. So now you have to say, well, which of these pairs add up to 5? Because that's our B value. So 6 plus 1, if we did 6 plus 1, that would be 7. Negative 6 plus negative 1 equals negative 7. 3 plus 2 equals 5. And negative 3 plus negative 2 equals 5. Oh, negative 5, sorry. So now you have your two brackets, x and x. So now you know that this is a positive value. So you could either have two negatives. This is a positive value, so you know that it has to be a positive number. And then, well, the only two numbers that added up to 5 and multiplied to 6 were 3 and 2. And that's your answer. So that is how you factor simple trinomials. Thank you.